everyone. It's me, Gary, back here once again on the Panto archive with another Cuppa chat. And today I've got another very, very, very special guest. So, special guest, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh Takacs. Hope everyone is well.
Hi, Josh. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me on, Gary. I've got my cuppa ready.
You've got your now. That's the first question that I ask everyone here. I've got my cup here today. I've gone for the spotty choice with you today.
Yeah.
And if anyone knows me and watches the Panto archive Cuppa chat series, I always have blackcurrant in my drink. I'm a bit boring, but Josh, if I was making you a cup of drink, what would you be having now, or what have you got? Because you've got a cup in front of you.
I've gone for tea now, so tea, milk. But I'm not too fussy. I know everybody gets arguments about, oh, it's got to be too strong or too weak. I don't care, but no sugar in. But
no sugar, sweet enough already.
Yeah, sweet enough. Yeah.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for joining us today.
Now,
I've been having a little look around and seeing what you've been up to and reading what you've sent me beforehand before we did this interview. You have been doing Principal Boy for the last few years in Panto. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. What's the most, because sometimes, you know, people always say, oh, I want to be the dame. Oh, I want to be the comic. I want to be the villain. Sometimes the poor Principal Boy gets forgotten about a little bit. Why is it fun to play the Principal Boy? Go on, convince us to start with.
I think as well, like typically when it is like the Principal Boy, it is the protagonist. But again, sometimes they can be as equally as stupid as wishy-washy and muggles, really. So again, I think they have got that element where they can be a bit like thick, really. And I think it is good to play on that, really, or try and play the Principal Boy quite childish as well, really. So I think that's what I enjoy about doing it.
Yeah, I mean, some princes are definitely, I mean, I did Sleeping Beauty last Christmas, and it's our prince, bless him, was trying to save the day. And he obviously does save the day in the end. The prince saves the day. But it was like, come on, as you say, Brit, come along. We need to do this bit now. Is that what audiences enjoy when you get to play the Principal Boy?
Yeah, I think so. Then sometimes, like, again, doing Treasure Island last year, and me and the villain were singing like a duet together, and it confused all the kids, and then I think they were thinking, oh, it's stupid, and we should know it's the villain, so they're all shouting, he's behind you, it's him, and like. So again, I think that's what the kids enjoy. The prince is a bit dim, really.
Yeah. I think that's the best way of having princes nowadays is letting them be a bit dim. As you say, you get such a fantastic response from the audience as well.
Yeah.
Tell us how that feels for people, because a lot of people watch this, as I say, every time, who maybe have not done Panto. They maybe just go and watch it and enjoy it once a year. How does it feel as a performer getting shouted at straight thing first thing in the morning or in an afternoon?
No, it's brilliant. And I think that's when you can tell when they're enjoying it as well, and when they're on your side, really. So again, I think as soon as like either the villain gets on, the shouting at the villain, or then they see me come like, oh yeah, Jim Hawkins is back, and they get like really excited. I'm back on, and it's really good. Or like they're advising me, shouting me what to do, telling me where the map is, and so it's brilliant.
Yeah. Have they ever done anything or shouted anything that's ruined the sort of the next part of the story? A bit like you say, oh, the map's over there and it's not for another like 2 scenes or something. How do you get out of that tricky situation?
I think what we had last, when I think like the villain caught us all and had guns drawn on us, but it sort of like put us off because, like, in a funny way, because one of the children shouted, "Get the scumbag!" and we were, I think we were all going, we were laughing, so we were trying to bring it back, really. So I think that's the one that did like just put us off, really.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, audiences then think, don't they, that they've got something special. So it's the one thing in live theatre that corpsing is a good thing sometimes, as long as you can bring yourself back. So have you ever had any other things that have been, you know, like you come off stage and go, what on earth was that person doing, shouting that out? You know, does it annoy you more, or is it a good thing to have those moments?
No, I really do enjoy it, because again, like we said, Panto is something completely different. It is about, like, they are the extra cast member, and they do drive it, because sometimes, I think many years ago I did have, like, when it was like a college college, so like teenagers, and they didn't want to get involved. So that was hard, and we would like literally was telling them, yes, I've got the magic ring here, and they didn't want to get involved. And so again, that is when it's hard. So it is
Yeah.
best when they get involved, really.
I mean, we've all been there. If you've been lucky enough to work professionally in Panto or in amateur, whatever the situation, we've all been there where you're expecting a round of applause or you're expecting oh, he's behind you, and it
Yeah.
doesn't happen. Just tell us how that feels when you're just like, what are we going to do now? What is your sort of get out clause, especially as principal boy? Because you can't be a bit like the dame that goes, oh, come on, you lot, are you half asleep? How do you work that as a principal boy?
But again, I think like last year I was doing like one of my like big solos that I didn't get the principal girl walked off, so I did my big solo, and sometimes they weren't clapping me or like getting involved or like what's he doing, because I went backstage and like tend to go to sleep, so again I used to go, I'm going to sleep now, good night everyone, and
Yeah.
waving at them, so then they all did start clapping and go.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit of an awkward situation sometimes, and it's not the I'm not saying it's the performer's fault.
Yeah.
It's not even the audience's fault. It's just sometimes it just doesn't land. A bit like a joke is the easy way of explaining it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will say a joke and it gets the audience in raptures for 28 days.
Yeah.
29th day, it might just be it doesn't work, and you're like, what have I done differently? What?
Yeah. I think that happened to me when I was doing Aladdin, like coming up doing I think like the Tinky Winky, where like why does the Teletubbies go to the toilet together?
Yeah.
I've just ruined the joke then anyway, everybody. But then I think like one day, like one of the kids shouted, "That's not funny!" Like,
Oh,
and then the stage manager, she was like, she thought that were hilarious. That she went,
yeah.
Josh's best bit for me. That.
And the thing is, though, as you say, it might feel like the most awful thing in the world when you're actually performing it. But those are the shows as a performer that you will
Yeah.
remember and the cast and the crew will remember as
Yeah.
well, though. So, we like you shouting out when it's appropriate, obviously, but we
Yeah.
do like it as
That's
panto
true.
performers. Josh, tell me a little bit more about Treasure Island as a pantomime, because it's not done very often nowadays, if really at all. Maybe only a
Yeah.
few odd people are doing it. How does it work for anyone who's not seen that panto before?
Yes, I really did enjoy it. So again, I was the principal boy, Jim Hawkins, and then my mother was the dame, so she was Lady Hawkins.
Yeah.
And then there was Livesey, who was like, she was working as like a waitress, but she was rich. And then we find this treasure map, because Billy Bones leaves the treasure map, and then we find it, and then we go then on a mad adventure. It's brilliant.
Is it still again, if people have never seen a version of Treasure Island, because I have to admit, when I think of Treasure Island, I think of the Muppets for that fantastic
Yeah.
film that's out there. Is it still a show that you will recognize it's a pantomime still? I suppose that's what I'm alluding to.
Yeah. Because again, when I was talking on one of the Welsh radio shows last year about it, and he said, "Oh, is it still?" Because again, you've got all your classic characters, and you think, "Oh, but they can't be very comic." I go, "No, you've still got it where you've got like he's behind you." So we had a couple of them in. So like
Yeah.
the pirates are dressed as ghosts trying to get the dame, and then as well, one of our friends sneaks on because he's been shipwrecked and he's behind us, and they go, "No, he's behind you." So again, you've still got them elements, really.
Yeah. It is a good title, and it's one that should be done more. I
Yes.
suppose what's happened really in recent times is Peter Pan has taken on that sort of pirate panto in the
Yes,
most
true.
recent these years. Um, I also have heard from a little birdie that you've done an adult panto. Was it for the first time last year?
Yeah. That was brilliant. Yes, 'cause I've
Yeah,
never done one before. And me previous to, because again, like I think the people I did productions for before were very like old school panto
yeah.
producers. But now one of the best shows I felt I've done, really. And then even my family and my parents come and they said it was amazing show.
Yeah. It was it Treasure Island that was adapted for an adult
Yeah,
night?
yeah.
Was it a sort of one-off thing?
Yeah, so again, we like all our kids again. They couldn't perform, so our ensemble. So they had the night off, and
Yeah.
So the stage manager come on with like the script, reading all their lines together. That was really like
Yeah.
that was corpsing us all, and then he'd get to throw some other words in like, oh,
Yeah, because I mean, we've spoken to a couple of people about adult pantos, and I think if you've never seen one before, people go, "Oh, it's just a load of swearing, and that's it, really." It's not, is it? It's still the show. It's still
yeah,
the setup of the panto. How did you find switching between the two, going back to a normal show? Were you like, "Oh my goodness, I mustn't say that at this point. I mustn't do that action. There's kids back in again." How is it switching between the two?
yeah. I think we did have to think because again, I did something like terrible on the adult night where like we did talk the walkthrough, but it changed slightly, so we did like an extra song. So I ran on the bows because I thought we were doing the song still. And went, Josh, what are you doing? So then
But
I'd keep thinking, oh, which walk down is it?
yeah. But it's funny though, because especially on adult nights, everyone is just up for a laugh, aren't they?
Yeah.
And and going back to how we sort of started the conversation with the shouting out, how is the shouting out on an adult night? What sort of things? Because as we say, there's the normal panto element, so that the
Yeah.
story is still there, that the sort of main bits are still there, but surely there's some things. For goodness sake, don't say maybe what was shouted out, but was there certain other things shouted out to you on those evenings?
Yeah, like so not as bad, but again, when you bring the audience members up for the goodies, they were trying to do like the rhyming stuff for the songs. So like
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
doing like when I was a part of the day I went to see, so a lot of rude things are coming out coming out for that for.
Were they still up for the fun? Because I assume normally you bring kids up, but you obviously had adults in that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Were they still up for the whole sort of experience? The adults
Yeah,
were
no,
they
yeah,
were they more than the kids?
yeah, that's it. I think they're all getting excited, saying rude words for people to like to do the rhyming song, and so that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
really funny. That.
It is good fun. I do like. I did my first adult panto last year as well. Actually,
I,
we did quite a few nights and then a little adult tour afterwards. And I really enjoyed it. From an actor's point of view, you'd been all sweet and sort of innocent in inverted commas
yeah,
for for the month, and then all of a sudden you were unleashed as such, and you had all this
yeah.
sort of people on the drink and shouting out. It is a good night. I can't
No,
stress it enough.
no, I really did enjoy it. And then again, with some bits, I was doing like one of the scenes when scenes with the leading lady. I was just going over the top with it. And then my parents said they came to see obviously like the normal
Yeah.
Panto, and they said, "Josh, you're better in the adult one because you overacted that." I went, "Well, I would do that as a joke overacting, but no, you needed to overact more in the Panto itself." But, oh, brilliant!
Yeah, it is. I mean, I had a couple of people come and see both, and you do get. I think it's because it's a bit more. It's still that traditional, as I said, but it's a bit
Yeah,
more untraditional. So it's something fresh for a lot of people, or if they've been
yeah.
watching Panto a lot. And as you say, you get a lot of, "Oh, I really liked you in that one. Why didn't you do it like that?" But it wouldn't necessarily work, would it, Josh, being like that in normal Panto?
Yeah, because I think for what that scene when I was like really trying to overact and I was being like too silly, then some of the kids then might get carried away
Yeah,
as such. And then obviously we want them to have a good time, but again, if we get them too wild, the teachers will probably hate us all.
yeah. You have to find that balance as such that it's you're not
Yes.
causing a riot as such.
Yeah.
Josh, we've nearly already come to the end of our cup of chat. I can't believe it's flew by
Yeah.
already, but I always ask everyone this final question to finish on, and it's a nice little way to have a little bit of a final chat with you.
Yeah.
I always ask everyone, I'm going to ask you as well now,
Yeah.
obviously, if you could be in any panto, it could be one you've done before,
Yeah.
what would you like to do? As the first part. And the second part, if you could choose a celebrity, past or present, to work with in that panto, who would they be and why?
I think I would love to do Aladdin again. I really do enjoy playing as Aladdin because I think there's a lot there, and I really did enjoy the production I did in Boston for that.
Yeah.
I think probably Les Dawson. I think as the Dame as again as Widow Twanky, but again I do laugh a lot. So I think he would have just got me laughing all the time. I think like, especially with some of his face, I'd have ran in and said something, going, "Oh, I've got the lamp," and he probably pulled the face, and I think it would have just got me laughing.
Yeah, I mean, Les Dawson's actually come up a couple of times with
Yeah,
people's responses. brilliant comic timings. And as you say, sometimes it's just a little look and
Yeah.
things. It is quite impressive, that sort of art form. If you were in that production then, and it could be anyone really, are you a bit of a corpser, Josh? Do you corpse easily?
Yeah, yeah. Again, I think just like naturally, I'm always like laughing and stuff. And like again, like the Treasure Island we did, when they pushed off the comic, my friend,
Yeah.
and I was with the villain. Then he kept throwing his hat and it kept landing directly in front of me. And I laughed
Yeah.
when he says, and then the villain, which is not, we're not supposed to know, says, "Oh, have you just seen something?" I went, "Well, you've just pushed my friend off the ship." So again, we both just kept laughing about that. Then again, all the audience were just laughing with us. So it was brilliant.
Yeah. You know, that is the main thing. If anyone, especially what's going on in the world at the minute, if you need just a little bit of time away from it all and just
Yeah,
to have an afternoon enjoying yourself and having a good laugh, it's what we need more. We need more
yeah.
laughing, don't we?
No, that's true. That is true.
Perfect. And hopefully we've made some of you have a little bit of a smile and a bit of a laugh for this in this video today. Josh, I can't thank you so much for being with us here on the Panto Archive today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And if you would like to keep up to date, don't forget with all of the Panto listings that are happening this year, next year, Easter, those adult Pantos, they are all now on the Panto Archive. Just go onto the website and click the link at the top of the page. Once again, see you very soon. Thank you, Josh.
Cheers. Thank you for having me. Cheers.
And we'll see you next time for Cuppa Chat.